What it is? All
And it's playing more on. Mocktail Mondays. Hopefully you heard a little 90 Sugar Ray there. Testing. Hopefully everyone can hear this. Let me get set up here. I mean, I'll turn the live on here for Instagram. Nobody's really going to be watching on Instagram. A lot of hits on that lately, but that's okay. We'll be get starting here in a minute. Go live. Testing. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I haven't done Restream in a while, but I feel like the quality is a lot better. And we're live on Instagram here too. Mocktail Mondays. Welcome back. Today's mocktail is one of my favorites. That's a frozen cherry. Sorry, I'm being cheap today. It's a Moscow Mule, non-alcoholic. And so what I did was about, I don't know, how many ounces is in here? Probably like, I don't know. I don't even know how many ounces this cup is. I would say total, it's probably close to about 5 or 6 ounces of ginger beer, like an ounce of lime juice, couple ounces of club soda, and then I just shook it all up. It's really good. We've done it before. I'm going to eat this frozen cherry. Cherries are really good for you. And we'll get started. Non-alcoholic Moscow Mule. Oh, it's so good. I do like the low sugar, no sugar ginger beer. I'm kind of cheap like that. Mostly because if you see the ginger beer sugar content in a lot of them, it's like 50 grams of sugar in a can of ginger beer. It's ridiculous, maybe even more. So I do like the cheap diet or low sugar one, and it tastes just as good as long as the ginger flavor is there. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. I'm going to move this over here a little bit. Hopefully everyone can hear me. If you have any comments, drop the comments. If you have any questions, drop the comments or drop it in the comments as well. And today we're going to talk about a few topics I already talked about. There's just so many people have been asking me some questions. So we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas with Nation, the new mocktail, which we already introduced. Non-alcoholic mule. It's delicious. Predictions for 2024 in my mind, and of course some picks at the end. There's not as many picks, but also there's another topic in there that I wanted to talk about as well. So let's get started for sure. Hopefully everyone can hear me loud and clear. I'm kind of trying to bounce back and forth here. Talk about Christmas with inflation. And we had this last year, obviously, and I think it's worse this year. I mean, let's just be honest about it. It's it doesn't have to be. And my first point on this is it doesn't have to be a big baller Christmas for the entire family and friends. I wrote that down, right? It doesn't need to be a big baller. And you're all probably rolling your eyes if you hear this and like, oh boy, what's he going to tell me? Stop spending money on my. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's so hard admitting to others, though, that you're keeping and you got to kind of limit your spending. That's one of the hardest things to say to family members, all that. I totally get it. But they have to understand sometimes. And especially this year, I feel like a lot more people are relating to saying, oh my God, I mean, we'll barely get through Christmas, but we might have to make some cutbacks here and there, and that's okay. Excuse me. So there's so many thoughtful, in my mind, there's so many thoughtful gifts you can get people that don't require you to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars everywhere, basically, right? There really are. The kids come first. If you have kids, make it special still. It's still Christmas. You know, I totally get that. And even if you're really, really close to your like parents or father-in-law, mother-in-law, totally understand that. But uncles, aunts, it's okay to step up and say, hey, I gotta be honest with you, we're on we got a set budget this year. It's been a tough year. You know, gotta do what you gotta do. It's okay to say that. I know it's hard to say it, but think of some outside of the box ideas, right? Even for your kids and your family too, right? I'll give props to my brother. I don't know if he's watching. There's 2 people watching right now. So I will give props to my brother. Last year, was it last year? Boy, this year has just been long. He got us we have 2 dogs, if you haven't heard, that we love very much. He got us a dog kit, and it's a DNA kit to find out what the DNA of your dog was. And it was pretty accurate too. And so basically you just swab like COVID, right? You swab both of them, package it up, seal it in, send it out like 4 to 6 weeks later, basically, back. Hold on a second. It's asking me. So the results come back basically with the dog DNA, and it was really cool. We found out that we kind of were sort of right on both dogs, but not really. There was different breeds that were, you know, outside the, you know, spectrum, I guess you said, of what we thought our dogs were going to be. But it was a thoughtful gift. My brother does a great job thinking of thoughtful gifts that aren't like hundreds and hundreds. It is like that, like even for your kids and family, that they will get the most use out of. You know, my son, believe it or not, loves gift cards. Loves gift cards. People are like, gift cards, come on, no, loves them. You know, he specifically likes Burger King and like places like that, airtime, and places he can get some activity. It doesn't have to be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You really can think outside of the box in order to essentially get them gifts, family members, not spend an arm and a leg, and still make it special to them. So something to think about coming up on Christmas. You don't have to participate in every single white elephant party and every single work party say, you know, gifts. I mean, we just don't need to do it anymore. I mean, right? I mean, I promise people understand. You know, a ton of them, I know there's a lot of people going through the same thing this year. Like Christmas is nervous. We don't really we haven't made as much money, or we've had a lot of debt this year because of car problems and all. I mean, the amount of car problems I've talked to like 3 people in the last week that said they had cars shut down or break down or this happened or that. I can't believe it. It just must be the end of the year, just kicking our butts. But it's okay. People are gonna understand. If they don't understand, screw them. I'm sorry. Screw them. You have goals. You're tightening up the budget a little bit. Good for you. Don't worry about what they got to think about you. Excuse me. For those that just joined, Mocktail non-alcoholic mule. Once again, a couple ounces of club soda, low sugar, ginger beer, squirts of lime. And that's about it. It's really good. I garnish it with a little cherry sometimes. It's delicious. So yeah, I mean, Christmas is going to be a little tight, but you guys got some big goals in 2024. I know I do. And that's what we're going to talk about here momentarily. But I wanted to, before I squeezed into 2024 predictions, I wanted to squeeze in one more topic. Of this payment started in the last month or two. Some of them are just coming back around right now. I have a contact who I work closely with that knows a ton about student loans in terms of coaching and all that stuff. I've already referred her a couple people in the last week. Some of them were my clients that had, questions and inquiries, but there's options that might be present. We have to get over this whole Biden. No, that's not going to happen, guys. It's just not. But what is going to happen is you're going to have some options in these companies where you might be able to consolidate them, might be able to change your payment to a lower amount, might be able to do some work and stuff like that. But what I would suggest is not trying too much on your own, because we've already seen a couple attempts and people are just trying to like consolidate or go on the website, do this or that and that, and they almost screwed things all up. So if you don't know what you're doing, which a lot of us don't, and that's okay, get with a professional. I highly recommend getting with a professional, sitting down and saying, what do I need to do? I would like to see my payments come down, whatever, hopefully a couple $100. What do I need to do? But there's some things you just hire out, right? High intense plumbing jobs, I'm not going to do. Little things I can do, but it's the same thing here for student loans, is don't try and overdo it and don't screw basically everything up, because then you could get into more of a storm or imagined. But there are options out there to potentially work with your payments with student loans coming up. So something to think about right there. 2024 predictions. Well, depending what you read and what you listen to, that other stuff, I have some interesting predictions. I think about it. I'm going down here real quick. I want to make sure everything is page here. I'm sure that it is, but I don't know. It's really moving slow here as usual. Hopefully this sounds a lot better than looks like live. Hold on one sec. Yep. Cool. So, depending on what you listen to, what you hear, my own opinion, financial person does. I'm going to straighten this out. On this screen, it's not looking good. It's looking okay here, but I came from the banking world, so let's focus on that first. Banking, a lot of people are saying, wow, it was a pretty good year, right? Interest rates on my CDs were high and all my savings and stuff like that. Not at the bank necessarily, but like online savings accounts and stuff like that. All those were pretty good. My CDs were 4 or 5%. Woohoo! And it feels good to be that could change, you guys, in 5 minutes, and it might next year. There's a lot of control, like see behind the scenes and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into it. If you ever want to talk about and have coffee one day, call me up. But those CDs could change, next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down for. Don't forget, we were just probably a year and a half, 2 years out from having CDs that were still like 3 years for 0.50 or 0.40, and now all of a sudden they're 4 or 5%. It could change in 5 minutes, you guys. So don't get super excited about the banking world. A lot could change next year, especially with everything that's going to be affected with the election. But yeah, there's a lot of other safe FDIC online banking savings accounts that I use right now. I just opened up my business account on money market, and it's getting 0.4% or 4.3%. So, but any of that could change, you guys. It all depends on your goals on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to make some money but also keep some money liquid, there's some options. But don't be surprised if in a few months you wake up and all of a sudden your CDs are worth jack. Obviously, inflation, a lot of people, you can read, you can Google, will inflation go down in 2024? Some people say it might go down slightly. Some people say it might go up a little bit and then jump back and forth. And the same with the housing market. I wouldn't hold your breath on anything. From everything I've read and every research I have, it might go down a little bit. I mean, in the next 6 months, I don't see groceries or anything else going down, takeout going down. I think we're in real trouble with restaurants and takeout and groceries. Gas is pretty, I posted that the other day. I mean, you got a lot of people complain about gas in other states, I guess, or something. I just paid $3, $2.99. I mean, that's pretty damn low. So, I mean, I don't know if people want it back down to $2.29, $2.39, but $2.99 is the lowest I paid in years. So gas is leveling off, you guys, and I think it'll probably bounce around, and then you know how that is. Something big happens with China or anything else, it'll go back up 40 cents and then back down. But I don't predict, maybe as we get closer to the election next year, but I don't predict in the first half that gas is going to go. I would just take a guess. I'd be shocked if it goes, back above, on average, in Michigan at least, above 4 or 409. That'd be crazy to me. But who knows? A lot of things control that too. Gas companies. So a lot of things that are not in your control. But the prices are going to be scary. I think that it's going to be scary. I don't think it's really depressing. A lot of these restaurants, lost a lot of money when the shipments and like the trucks cut in half. Basically, they were doing less shipments. And people say, blame a lot of other stuff, presidents and stuff like that. But I worked at a credit union that was inside a Kroger, and I talked to management every day there. So I got the 411 about everything basically. And I don't work there anymore, so I don't mind telling this, but what people don't realize is they blame everyone else, politics and, Biden or Trump or whoever you hate. It doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. They don't control a lot of that. And what people don't realize, a fun fact is it's been a while now, but they went there when there was a shortage in, not really in groceries, but deliveries and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember reading that. That was a long time ago, but that was actually after I was through the credit union. That was probably a year or two ago as well. And so basically, I still talk to a lot of those people, and they basically said they went from having 3 trucks a week down to 2 at Kroger. So let's trucks a week times 4 weeks. That's 12 trucks a month, give or take. Maybe an extra one here and there, right? On holidays, 13. Cut that down now to 8 trucks a week, or 8 trucks a month. How much detrimental 4 different trucks missed basically at Kroger per week when it comes to groceries? Think about that. So that's because, the truckers basically weren't able, there wasn't enough staff back then. The truckers just were long hours. They said, screw this. We're not going to be able to make it. The companies were cutting down on their hours. There were so much side control of anything that had to do with your politics. So I saw it all. I worked at Kroger for several years inside of Kroger. So I knew a lot and stuff that they don't tell you in public. That's another danger of media listening to them. They're not telling you the truth half of the time or the real details. So yeah, that's not going to get better, the prices. I'm just going to guess that right there. Election screws everything up, especially the second half of the year. Next year, it's going to be weird. There's nothing to predict. But what's good about 2024 in my mind is 2023 kind of sucked for most of us in financials. Whether it was you had car problems or plumbing for us or changing this, or you guys maybe felt like everything medical hit you. Maybe you had kids going to the hospital and all this money, payment, debt, credit card. What's good is I think that's going to get it better in 24. The awareness in those couple of months that us financial coaches are seeing from people stepping up saying, hey, I need help. Hey, not to just coaches, advisors too. I talk to advisors too. And I need somebody to, I'm out of luck here. Like I've hit the ceiling. I'm screwed. I have no else. People are starting to become more aware of their issues. And that's a good thing going into 2024. And it's going to continue. Consumers are going to continue to get smarter. It's been shown, especially the last few months, how people are shopping at cheaper grocery stores in Michigan, Aldi, Meijer instead of Kroger. Heck, Walmart. You guys, I went into the dollar store twice in the last week for a couple odds and ends. We get certain things there. And also for something for my business, just a small little thing. It's packed at the dollar store, you guys. And I'm not talking, 5 o'clock on a Monday night or anything. During the day, packed. And people are shopping, like they're filling up baskets, you guys. They're finding ways to spend less money. So the people are out there, they're aware of money. And, fresh time's too expensive. And, it's great. But if we can get away with it for a couple of months, buying 70% here and 30% there, instead of, 50-50 or 80-20 or what you used to do, people are starting to become more aware about every decision they make. Drive-by coffee shop, you normally get a Big B, right? $6. You say, oh, not today. Maybe in a couple days I'll do it. Saves you $6 right there. People are starting to think and realize we don't got any more money. We got to start making some decisions here. So that's a positive going into 2024. And people, there's more and more, you guys, our group, I'm telling you that, of financial coaches in the United States, and I don't know if this includes like Canada and Europe, it's like over 5,000 just in one group. And there's multiple groups, guys. There's thousands and thousands of coaches in every state. Well, maybe not every state, but you get my point. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and sometimes up to 1,000 of financial coaches in every state. We're here. We're here to help. And we all work together. That's the beauty of financial coaching. I'll go through that every single day of my life. There's a lot of other groups of professions that work against each other, just battle. Who can get the sale? Who can get the sale? I mean, I refer people to other coaches. They refer them to me. If we can't help someone, or it's like, hey, that's a better focus for so-and-so, you might want to talk to that person. They're going to help each other. That's the beauty of it. And people are starting to realize they need some help. And that is important going into 2024, especially when you wake up after Christmas and maybe some of you don't listen to me, and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'll get credit card debt. Well, now it's 2024. And what happens in 2024? Now you got to worry about what you just spent, but also taxes. Great. Cheers. I'm a tax guy too. I can help you with all that stuff. But 2024 is going to be good, you guys. You just got to be positive. You have to be grateful for life. You got to be grateful for the health and all your kids and family members and everything you have in your life. So it will be good. Who knows what's going to happen in inflation? You don't control it. You do control your decisions, though. You do control what you spend your money on. That's the positive way to look at it. I control my spending. You control yours. Don't worry about all the bullshit. Excuse my French in the background. Don't worry about what Joe Biden's deciding. Don't worry about Trump and and the government and the Senate and the Congress and the gas prices and all that. The gas companies, they're not worried about you. So why worry about them? Worry about yourself and get your finances in order. I promise you. If you control your own spending, and if you really need some help, go get help from financial advisors, coaches, whoever, planners, whoever you need help from. It's something to think about. Worry about yourself in 2024. You got this in control. Trust me on that one. All right. That was a lot. My picks last week, I don't even remember what they were. Talk football. There's not a lot of picks this weekend, but I did want to do a couple. Because it's got to be fun a little bit. Bowl season's coming up for college football fans. Michigan drew Alabama. I don't know how Michigan fans are feeling about that. Both of the games in the playoffs are going to be awesome, and that's all I care about. I feel really bad for Florida State, though. I really do. I would have liked to see Florida State sneak in there, but without their back, it's so hard to argue. Here we go. Sports picks. Last week, I deleted them already, all my picks, but I got them right. The Lions won. I don't know. There's a couple that were pretty close in the score, and I think I got most of them right. Yep, I got San Francisco. That was my call against Philly. They destroyed them last night. So here's just a few picks. There's not a lot of football on, so most of these are pro. Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm a Steelers fan as well. That's my AFC team. Lions NFC, Steelers AFC. Against the New England Patriots. That's Thursday night football. It's going to be disgusting of a game. Kenny Pickett is questionable. Their quarterback. Steelers, their defense is great. New England's defense is pretty good. Their offense is god-awful. I mean, just two. I mean, the Steelers have a good record, 7-5, but like, ugh. So I'm going to think they're going to squeeze one out. It's 13. It's going to be disgusting. There might only be like 2 touchdowns and a bunch of field goals in that game. So Steelers will beat them, but not by much. Excuse me. Army Navy, the famous. Support all the troops. We appreciate it, but it's always under. It's like always ugly football unders. The academies unders are like ridiculous, hit 75% of the time. And then this point spread, I think the point spread, it was down to like 26.5, started at 27.5. I'm going to go Army. Navy is god awful, and Army's not much better, but I'm going to go Army's going to win this Navy battle or naval battle. 17-10. It's going to be really close to that under. But yeah, Army over Navy. That's my prediction. Detroit Lions, da Bears. And this line scares the hell out of me. It's at Chicago, and Chicago's record's 4-8. Lions are obviously 9-3. Awesome start. And they're only on -3. I don't like that. That scares me. Justin Fields is really good. We can't stop mobile quarterbacks. I think it's going to be ugly, though. I think the defenses are going to step up. I'm going to go Lions are going to squeeze one out 20-17 on the Bears. 20-17, Detroit Lions will win, and they will continue their win streak. Cowboys Eagles is the final one. That's the game I'm looking forward to. Oh, I hate to do this, but I hate both teams. Cowboys are just, the Cowboys are, and the Eagles are, mostly because of their fans. I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's a great player, but their fans are god awful. Sorry, Philly, if you're watching, anyone from Philly. So we're going to go Cowboys. I think this is going to be a duke it out, but Cowboys are going to win this game 24-20, I think. I think the Eagles really showed their hand last night. Bills over Chiefs, Jason just wrote. I mean, let's keep it going. I mean, obviously for the Lions, for strength of schedule, I want the Chiefs because we beat the Chiefs to win on that side. But yeah, it's funny. The Chiefs didn't look the same last night, and then they started crying last night about those interferences at the end. But I mean, Mahomes gets treated like Rodgers and everyone else at the pass, where he wasn't even out of bounds either. So when he got hit, but I completely agree, Jason. I think Bills. I don't know, but the up-down theory, right? They lose the Chiefs, so technically they might win next weekend. But the Bills lost too, a heartbreaker against Philly, and then had a bye. So I don't know. All I know, Jason, is your boy Josh Allen better wake his ass up because he's hit or miss right now. So hopefully the Bills win over the Chiefs. That would be cool, though. I mean, I think that's capable, but I think Cowboys over Eagles would be nice, and that would bring the Eagles closer in. That'd be 3 losses. So now, and if the Lions win, now all of a sudden we're moving closer and closer to that first seed. I don't know how that works because we don't play them this year. If we have the same record, I think they go down to the next. I don't know what it is in the NFL, actually. I don't know if it's like record against the other teams. Like if the Cowboys beat the Eagles and then we beat the Cowboys. I don't know. I don't know how it works. But anyways, that'd be pretty sweet to see the Eagles lose and bring them back down. But then the Cowboys are cooking right now too. They look great. and that sucks. But it is still Dak, and Dak in December. Who knows? December, this will be his first game in December. We'll see. Dak starts falling apart closer and closer to the playoffs, I feel like. So we'll see. Those are the predictions. You guys, 2024 is going to be great. I appreciate this. Join me next Monday for Mocktail Monday. Again, we'll have a new mocktail, some new topics. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. As always, you got any questions, complimentary call is, always in the comments. MadelineFinancialCoaching.com. I'm here for you. Your coaches are here for you. Anything we can do to support you, that's all we want to do. So follow my YouTube, follow my Instagram. It's been fun. And don't forget about the Money Revelation podcast as well, Spotify and Apple. I'm plugging everything. Follow everything. And you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.